Okay, just wanted to do a quick review for box trades that occurred on Monday, August 12th. And we'll just take a look at the ES, the NQ, and I'll show you a chart on the CL that CL traders use with the box. So I'll just go through these really quick. This one was beautiful. Get long here. The worst that you would have been is maybe down a tick or two, and you should have been able to, if you use the technique I show in one of the instructional videos on how to trail your profits, you should have been able to get most of this. If you scale out at least on your remaining contracts. This one here, you're still long. Comes right back down for a nice RTM trade right here. So you'd be long here if you take those types of trades. This one here, same thing. Would have been long right here on the RTM trade, taking profits here. Maybe get filled here. I'm not sure. Obviously it depends on where you would have been filled at there, but you definitely would have been filled up through here on any remaining contracts. And so 3 for 3. I don't know about you guys, but man, when I guess it depends on your own levels of when you choose to walk away. But man, there's a lot of days where I'm done. 2-3 trades, especially like these ones. You should have been up, minimum 2, if not 5, maybe even 6 points at that point. This one, let's see, this one actually wins. This, not much, gives you maybe a half point there, and then your rate long again. So I talked about this in the previous review about the length of time between really boxes and or signals. So this box originally formed, I'm in mountain time 8:08, and this signal came almost 2.5 hours later. So the gist of that is that because the box detects real-time market data as opposed to lagging information, the conditions that existed 2.5 hours ago possibly not present any longer, but nevertheless gave you a small win there, and now we're long. Brand new box, fresh opportunity. Kind of the same thing here. It gave you a small win. This would have stopped out any remaining contracts. So on this type of trade, overall, depending on how you trade it, of course, you may be down a little bit, not much. And then this one is a loser. This one loses. If you take this RTM trade here, based upon the way that I showed how to do it, you would have won that one. And then you win this one, and then the market's over by that point. Beautiful day, awesome trades. We had one, let's see, you would have lost this, no, you would have won that one, small win, and then this was really the only loser, just depending on what you did on these two, this short and this long. You should have made money on both of those, but you may have cut your losses on any remaining contracts because we sat in this channel for quite a while, had some consolidation there. Let's take a look at the NQ. And the NQ course continues to pump out cash. You would have been, okay, let me explain this. If you watched the previous video, I explained to be a little bit cautious on trades like this. We have a triple box here, which, remember, means that there's a pretty good chance we're going to have a pretty decent push. Which direction? We don't know until we get our signal, our arrow, in other words. And what I had said in the previous video was that if we get if the bar closes, in this case these bars, the signal off of the smaller box within, as I referred to the bigger picture, just be cautious. Obviously this worked. What I like to do is wait until price closes above the larger box. So this is one where I would have been long up in here somewhere as opposed to here, just because I want to protect my capital, and long-term capital preservation, it tends to work quite well. So something to consider. Either way, whether you got long here or here, this thing ran for a lot. Let's just call it 3107. Let's actually call it 3108. It peaked out at 3126, so 16 points of movement. Worked out beautifully. This long one, RTM, missed it by a tick. By the way, in the RTM trades, on the line or a tick above is kind of the target there. Most cases, I will enter a tick above. May not have been, in fact, I tried that one. I did not get filled on that one. Hit me, but didn't fill me. So play around with that to see what you like the best. You would have been long here, and in a remaining contract you have in, This one is the same type of situation. This smaller box is where this short signal comes from. And this is another example of why my personal opinion is to perhaps hold off on those. Wait until price closes below this larger box. And this is why. So you should not have lost this trade here, because you would have been long here and you would have obviously won that. And then you wouldn't have taken this one because you were already long. Now here's an interesting situation. So if maybe I've been trading the ES all morning, and I said, okay, I'm gonna take a look at the NQ, what's going on there, and let's say I wasn't there for either one of these. Well, for me, my rules say be cautious of trades like this. So if I got in here somewhere here, as far as looking at the NQ, and I notice we have this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to see if price will close below this one, and then I'll enter short. Well, obviously it didn't. So we have a long signal here, and I would have already been long here. So absolutely, I would enter this trade. Okay, boom, you win that one. You lose this one. Okay, this is just a flat out loser. That one lost, this one won, so you make all that back plus some. There's that consolidation that we hit, and then market's over at this point. And I'm not a fan of trading, a minute before open. Good luck with that, but it worked. But I wouldn't get in these types of trades. So ES and NQ, very profitable days. You shoot up quite a bit on either one or both if you traded both. Let's take a look at CL. I want to show you a chart that a lot of our CL traders use. This chart was in your email. Remember, on these reviews, I'm sticking with the charts that were in your original emails so that I can't just pick and choose the chart that looks the best. So we're going to keep it consistent that way. So let me pull that up real quick. Okay, for those of you that don't know how to set up a range chart, perhaps because NinjaTrader is new to you, just right-click on your chart and click Data Series, and then choose range. This, and under type, this will be a drop down, and then change the value to 4. Also make sure you have 15 days loaded, and you'll be good to go. And then click apply. I like bars. As I mentioned before, it makes the signal stand out better, at least for me. But you can use whatever you want. Doesn't really matter there. So I'm going to close that out. So this is a 4 range chart, and it is used by a handful of CL traders that use the box, and I'm going to show you why. You're going to get a lot more trades. In the previous review, I showed you a 5-minute chart. You can also use a 500 tick chart. The 4 range chart, it's going to give you quite a few more trades than the other charts. So really, first RTH trade of the day happens here, the short, and that one wins. Obviously, it has a nice run. So let me just make a comment about CL. CL is something that you really need to be cautious trading. It's one of our traders is an institutional trader that uses the box over at the CBOT, and direct quote, CL is very slippery. You really need a lot of capital to trade it consistently profitable. Now obviously there's probably an endless number of ways and strategies to trade this, but obviously we're talking about the box here, and although it's a very effective tool, you still need to have some smarts about it, because the movements can be large, and if you don't have adequate capital to absorb the losses that you will experience, I personally would stick with the ES, the NQ, things like that. But I'm going to show you this because it's very effective and a lot of people do well on this. So this short was a nice big winner. We have a small long here that wins, and then this short here obviously wins. This long, this is a loser. You would have lost this long trade here. Now you're short, that one wins. This long, remember, we just got done talking about this, smaller box within a bigger box. This is, again, yet another example of why you might want to consider waiting. It does have an RTM trade if you look at it that way. So price comes here, up, down, nails the line, and has a little bit. So RTM trades, for me, I like to just scalp a little bit, just a quick profit, and then wait for the next trade. This one, we get our signal here, but it's not below this one. So for me, what I prefer to do is wait until the bar closes below this one. Now, obviously, if you would have short here, you would have won that, but you would also want it if you were a bit more conservative, like I am, and take it here. So you win to the first line there, take some profits. Again, here, this qualifies off this smaller box. I personally, again, I would wait until we're here. We close here, you go long here, and that was a nice winner. So several trades already. We're only a couple hours into the day. That one ran really nice. This one, obviously a winner. This one, a winner. By this time, if you took all those trades, it's impossible to do the math on that. That's a lot. You're even on just, maybe 3 contracts, you're up. I'm in a, ballpark 700 to 2,000. I don't know about you, but I'm calling it quits at that point. But if you keep going, you win a little bit on this one. Any remaining contracts, if you scale out, you would have stopped out here. You win this one. This one qualifies, valid trade, and you would not have lost it. Almost. It went to the tick of the low there. That would have been a little nerve-wracking. Let me explain that for a second here, because some of you would argue with me, which you're absolutely entitled to, and you would say, well, wait a minute, we have a box here. Okay, so I do both. I take these and I hold them, but sometimes I take these and I get out and I go on this one. So it's kind of up to you. This is kind of where your own, market knowledge, I guess, would come into play, and it really depends. There's no right or wrong way to trade a situation like this. So let me kind of walk you through this so you understand. We have a double box here. We've already talked about double boxes over and over again, so I'm not going to cover that. We have a signal to go long, and we take this because it's on the larger box, right? So we go long here, and it doesn't really, kind of loses steam at this point. It's not running. And then, as you can see, we have another box that formed here. So you've got a choice to make. You either get out, cut your loss here, and go short, or you hang on to it. And there's far too many details that it's not black and white, because the conditions of the market change, and they can change, in a matter of seconds. So you just really have to decide what you're going to do in a situation like this. Like I said, I do both. It just depends. Sometimes I win them, sometimes I lose them. In more cases, I'll win them. But in the scenario I'm painting here, you long here, and if you're committed to that direction because of whatever, if you look at, whatever type of analytics you look at, maybe it's telling you, hey, probability says up, so okay, I'm holding on to that. If not, then obviously you would have been short here, you would have took profits here, and then the rest is history. So this one is up for debate, but take that into consideration, what I just mentioned there. Okay, so now you're long here, obviously that you win that, and market actually is done by this point. It would have been long here, if you trade that close to, actually that's closer to equity close. CL's closed by this time. But anyways, huge day on CL. I mean, this is a big day. So again, this 4-range chart on CL. If you have questions about that, let me know. It just, and I just want to reiterate, CL, it moves. It has a lot of movement. There's a lot of slippage in CL. There can be. So, you just got to be cautious. The good thing about it is that if you use the box in CL, you should do quite well, as you can see. And what you can do, since you have the box on your charts, you can scroll back as far back in history as your data provider provides and look at the trades that happened. Wildly profitable day on CL. You should have done extremely well on CL today if you traded it. Again, I would caution trading CL unless you have some experience or adequate capital. My personal opinion, this is just me. You can do whatever you want. I wouldn't trade CL with less than 30,000 in an account. But again, that's just my opinion. But anyways, that's a wrap. If you have questions, send them to support@predictionpointtrading.com. This is the second review in this short trial period. Be sure to subscribe ASAP The new site is launching very soon, and pricing will change as soon as that happens. And tomorrow is going to be another big day, so get ready.